There we go. I shut the door because yesterday when I tried this, little Zoe was jumping up on here. Just move this stuff out of the way. Kind of a tight spot here. I don't want to wake Tammy up. Here's how this is turning out. I don't know if anyone can see it very well. But the lighting is way better in here than it was out there anyway. But I started getting the windows in it and a little bit of the chrome painted on with that Molotov pen. I like bare metal foil. It takes a lot longer, but it does a much better job, I think. And I've got one in the works right now. Let's see if you can see that. Let's see how the sides turned out on that one. Let's see, I think I got it's all dusty. Yeah, I can't read any comments or anything that's out on the TV. I hope it shows up, but can't really tell. Okay, move this guy off to the side. I got a little bit of the frame done. Let's see, I had the motor ready to paint. I'm probably going to want to put a blower on it and then therefore cut a big hole in the hood. So I've got a few things going on with that. Tires get in the way. There isn't very much good usable, like there's no real decals that come with this kit. There's a few things I don't like. There's no cool wheels with it, no good tires. There's no usable decals at all. There's, I think 16 or 12, whatever. I'm no good with numbers. License plates. And I don't know. I don't use license plates. I put one on this last build, Bloodbath, because it had to be street legal. Just got this in the mail. Galaxy, 1963. And it looks like someone had built it in the 1963. And they had it all cheesed up. The body was really foul. The chrome on it's not good. I've been doing my body work and it looked really bad. Tammy's like, I know you can fix it, right? I can't. So it stayed at like $3 for 10 days. Let's see, put this down there. Okay. And I've been doing the body work. I glued this on the back because the body is so brittle that it would just crumble apart. So it was missing a lot of the body here. So I chose this option for there's like 5 different ones for customizing the back. And I chose this one because it was all there. It seemed like it was better styrene than the rest. I had to get rid of a big square box deal for license plates. Like I said, I don't use them. The front one was the same way. And I do my body work where I spray just a tiny bit of Fusion Krylon in the cap. Take the cap off, put just a tiny bit in there. It doesn't put fumes in there. It doesn't do any of that stuff. Because Tammy, I don't want to bother her with the fumes or anything like that. And I certainly don't want to get overspray on any of the models I've already done. So I just take that and I dab it in there, and then I go schmutz it around where I'm going to be doing my body work. They had all sorts of who knows what back here. That they did some kind of funky body work too. But you have to get your paint. You have to get your paint in the areas where you're going to use this stuff. And I see a bunch of different modelers use it instead of Rio Bondo, which you can do that, but you're going to have it crumble off the body completely. I mean, it's not even going to stick to styrene at all, or anything. You know, a steel car, a real car in real life, there's no way for it to stick. You have to put it on a primer. And Fusion is real good. It eats into the plastic. It's not a regular, you know, some gray primer that you just schlock on. It does fantastic. And I noticed they don't even sell it anymore. They don't next door anymore. Put that back on the shelf. But I use it as primer. It works fantastic. It's going to smooth everything out a lot better. And you can use glazing putty, and it works fantastic. Is what it is. I had one guy tell me, oh, I was misinformed. I thought it was some kind of hardening. No, you don't add hardener to it. You don't anything. All it is red oxide primer. That's it, without the lacquer thinner to thin it. It's just red oxide primer, and it's not going to stick to anything unless you prime your area first. So when I put the green paint on here, I waited about 4 minutes before I started putting this stuff on. I don't want to wait for it to dry. I don't want to wait for nothing. Slock it in there. I think I used the back of this and just kept hosing it into all the big holes that were left from when I glued this on. And I didn't use an applicator at all. You know, no. I could have cut little pieces of cardboard or something and done real good, nice and flat, but it doesn't even matter. It's all going to be sanded off. You know, majority of it. You can see where it was still low here. There we go. We got ourselves a pointer. And it had chrome trim that went all the way around, then had gills and stuff back here, and then had another chrome trim that come back up through here. Well, I want to do some graphics on this, and then I want to put maybe some decals on it to make it look like a I don't do the gasser because I don't like them jacked up in the front. I don't like them sitting like that. I like them sitting like that. Well, like that. That to me, I've had quite a few cars in real life that I set up like that, and I just think that looks like a bad motor scooter that way. And I'm not gonna change. So this. It came with this nice front end on this. It's up higher than the body itself, but that'll be good for giving it a nice rake, because I'm not going to cut into the wheel wells. I don't like the looks of that. Radius wheel wells. It looks great on a 51 Chevy, not so much on a 63. Was it a Ford? I think it was. Galaxy. Yeah. Great looking body style. I bid on it, and I had Tammy work on all that. But yeah, here you can see a bunch of those little gills and fins and stuff, and you could tell how much was broken away. But when I had her bidding on it, I didn't even pay any attention. It could have been an Impala for all I knew. I couldn't even tell. I just knew that. I thought, man, that body style looks kind of neat. It could look neater, which it does now with the stuff that came with the kit that I didn't even realize was even in there. I was kind of hoping that the kit was complete. But I wanted to share that with you, and the fact that people are using this stuff without putting primer down first for it to have something to dry to, because this stuff here, I don't want it crumbling out. I don't want it acting up at all. I was a top body shop, a body man, the Bondo guy, not the collision stuff, in like 10 different body shops since 1987. I've been working a lot on body work. So it's not a matter of, I just discovered this stuff last week. It's nothing like that. This stuff has been around since I think about the 60s, maybe even the 60s, I know for sure. My dad always used it. So it's not a matter of, I just discovered that and here, take my advice. You can take my advice. You don't have to. You can have this stuff just crumble off. I normally like to use Bondo. I have it out there in the other room, a big gallon of Bondo. But in this case here, it only had just a couple little tiny, if I wanted to do this entire side, I don't think I'd use this. I think I would be using Bondo. But in order to use it correctly, I try to run through and show you a little bit about that. So let's see, what else is there? And I don't think there's much of anything else to cover. I wanted to talk about a few things and lined them up, and I guess that's it. So, and no cats interrupting and jumping up on the table up here and pulling everything down, because that's going to happen next. So let's see. Everything's plugging along real good. I want to show you what this is looking like maybe. I shortened it. That was another model I'm working on right now. But instead of using the Peterbilt, because it's a big Peterbilt cab, and this was even another inch, at least an inch, I think maybe an inch and a quarter I took out of it in order for this cab to go on it. To get that on it, and then the fenders. I got to get the fenders up in there, tucked in where they belong. But I think that's going to turn out pretty cool. And then I want to do my, Camel towing company right here. And when I make the decals for the painting that I made, I'll make the decals and shrink them down and get them right in there. But I want to do some really wild colors, candy colors that go with those yellows that are in that. So I don't have the color scheme, so I'm kind of just on the fence with that right now. I just kind of put that on hold until the paint scheme comes to me. Now I asked Tammy, this is a good one. I asked Tammy, I said, here's the 3 different engine blocks. 2 of them come with this truck kit and are in scale with the truck. Do you want that, either one of those, or do you want the semi engine? And she said, yeah, she wants a semi motor in it. So I'll go ahead and put that in. I've modified the firewall already for it. I think you can see that pretty good. I modified that so the turbo is out of the way. And I got to box off the interior and probably cut the dash. But these turn out much better. I have those in a couple of my videos that have the most views. I think it's my favorite 125 builds. And I have a few of those, but they're rat rodded out. I don't like rat rod stuff. I never did. I like shiny, and it's nice to be able to get back into that swing of things, make everything nice and shiny. It seems that's what that's where I always excelled, and that's what it seems like people want that most now. So I got that going on. It's real brittle because a lot of times, like this was a 1963 kit. I could tell it was made in 63 or 65 right in there. But what happens is people store these in attics where it gets really hot in the summer and just cooks it and makes them really brittle. And in the winter, it gets real cold. And then again, you got your extreme cold, extreme hots, and that's what will turn them very, very brittle. So you got to be careful not to, put any pressure on the A-pillar or the little vent, because what's going to happen is they're just going to just crumble and break out of there. I've had promo models over the years of Johann's, the Mavericks. They were always missing the A-pillars, and I always had to work on them. In fact, I got one right now that I have to put the A-pillars on it. So, okay, I just wanted to touch base with you guys on Bondo, because people have been using it wrong, and I'm just here to help. You don't have to put any primer down first, but always expect that it's not going to stick. It can't stick. There's no way for it to even. You sand the area good. Sand the area good with 180. See my little. I roll a 180 sticky paper. That way I can stick it to a block or stick it to a popsicle stick and turn it into a block. But you want to sand the area that you're going to do your body work in. Sand it with 180. And then prime the area. You don't have to spray the whole car, because then you're going to be losing all your details. Don't spray the whole car when you're doing body work in an area, in a tiny little spot. Spray it into the cap, brush paint it in the area. It's going to really stick to the 180. Then you put your schmutzka in there, work it in. I put it in there last night, and then I let it sit overnight. When I woke up this morning, I don't know, about an hour, 2 hours ago, I went ahead and I sanded it all down, sanded nice. Started with 180, then went to 400, and then went to, I think, 1,000 or 1,200. Because you want to get rid of all the scratches. I don't want any scratches on this. But I am going to go through and brush paint that on as primer again. And then I'll do the areas. I won't do any of this. That's done. To me, that's done. But then I'll spray the body. And then right after spraying it, then I'm going to go on with the silver's out there. But I'll shoot the silver on like I did on the bed, semi-bed. And then I'll go right into doing candies. I'm not real sure of the paint scheme on it yet. I haven't decided. That's what took me so long on this build here. I couldn't think of a paint scheme. I couldn't think of anything. I hit a brick wall. So for that whole month, I didn't do anything to it, other than I had the wheels made on my lathe already. And that reminds me, that new one, that group build, this one here. It takes a minute to get to it. This one here, I'm going to make my wheels on the lathe too. I've got big aluminum round stock that I bought for making wheels. I got it a year ago, something like that. So I've had it ready to make 1/25th scale wheels out of it. And my favorite has always been the aluminum 5-slot mags. Anson slots have always been my favorite, but I don't have any way to laser etch or anything, the wheels in interior. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a set of wheels. I'll go through my model box and I'll find the best aluminum mags. Machine the aluminum like I did with the small scale, and then make them real deep, probably really deep in the back, and kind of deep in the front. I don't like shallow wheels. I don't like flat to the outside wheels like all the front wheel drive stuff has. And then people with their dubs, they put flat to the outside. and then they make them far too big. And is what it does is it makes the body of the car look short. And when they look short, they look so much cheaper. It just looks, to me, my opinion is that they should have 14-inch in the front, 15-inch in the back, and they got to be, deep, and then killer deep in the back. But that was always my recipe for a real nice build. But I just wanted to touch base with everybody and show you a few things. Don't take my advice. It's just there. Take it or leave it. I could just tell you from experience and from working in many different body shops, I've ran into those problems and a zillion others. And when they pop up, I can help you with them. But yeah, I can't go through everything right now because who knows what it is. So, okay, guys, I'm going to let you go and have a great day.